Santa Claus is real. The Tooth Fairy exists. And your high school crush was secretly in love with you. She was just very scared to approach you. That's the truth. She was actually in love with you. That's right. 'Tis the season. It is the season of dreams, of fantasies. And right now we are looking at one of the biggest fantasies of them all. The elusive and euphoric alt season. What's going on? If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliot. I'm a crypto investor and I have been in this industry working, investing, and making YouTube videos for 8 years now. I'm also the co-founder of a top crypto gaming protocol and have been building technology in the industry since I started. I encourage you to subscribe to the channel if you like the information. Today, we're going to be talking about this right here, which is the Bitcoin dominance chart. Now, as you can see, this blue line is where we had the last daily low here on November 9th. As you can see, we have actually closed candles below that here over the last few days, and that means that we could be witnessing the first reversal in Bitcoin dominance since literally 4 years ago, almost to the day. Now, the thing about it, if you zoom in, we never actually closed a candle below this wick. You see that it wicked down here, but we didn't actually close below this red wick on the left. So we didn't really get the same behavior, but let's go ahead and compare it to this particular moment to see maybe if we're in a similar moment right now. What we know is that this happened in January of 2024, which from January to March, what happened was altcoins were pumping aggressively with Bitcoin, and they topped out around March of 2024, which was somewhere in here. So even if Bitcoin doesn't drop here, what we're seeing with altcoins, the massive pumps coming into some of the biggest altcoins, some oldies, some dino coins that haven't moved in forever, like XRP, like Algorand, some of the biggest protocols in the space, well, it's a sign that new money is getting extremely excited and is taking more risk in the altcoins. And when you combine it with this new close with Bitcoin dominance, we could be seeing the first massive sign that altcoin season is fast approaching. Now, mind you, this is the Bitcoin chart. And as you can see, we've rocketed up from these lows. We haven't quite formed a new high yet, but we are getting very, very close. And on Bitcoin CME futures, it actually touched $100,140. So on the Bitcoin CME futures exchange, there was actually an all-time high of over $100,000 that got briefly touched here just a few hours ago. So in some senses, 100K has been breached on some exchanges somewhere in the world. Again, CME is a valuable exchange for price. This is not just some random place. This is a significant place for this to happen. So it might foreshadow that we're about to see that price action today. So let's talk a little bit about what this could mean and what we could be seeing in the charts here. And I'm going to line it up with my prior video about when we might be seeing massive rotations into altcoins. And remember, my video was very clear. Do not jump out of your altcoins. Do not sell them. Do not abandon ship, because from here on out, we will most likely see altcoins at least keep pace with Bitcoin, if not start to wildly outperform Bitcoin. That's just how these cycles go. I'm not a massive proponent of altcoins because they suck and they go down all the time. I'm a massive proponent of altcoins because if you're here at the beginning of the cycle and you're in the right altcoins, it is the single best path, in my opinion, to financial freedom and potentially significant wealth that exists in the modern society. It's just the truth. And that's the moment that we could be staring down the barrel of right now. Now, timing wise, I find this absolutely crazy because Raul Pal here, he actually put up this chart that shows how Bitcoin lags global liquidity by about 10 weeks. So they corrected it and they moved the Bitcoin price over. They essentially moved global liquidity back 10 weeks. And then you can see that Bitcoin starts to really keep pace with global liquidity. Now, what's interesting is he sees Bitcoin growing into mid-January before cooling off. Again, remember, we had actually predicted that Bitcoin might pump all the way right into inauguration, where we get this massive sell the news. Again, that could line up almost exactly with what we're seeing. And at that moment, you'd expect for altcoins to start getting massive liquidity rotations. Of course, I will say that if we do come down here below $70,000 Bitcoin due to global liquidity, I might be a little shocked here. It would definitely scare the absolute ever-loving out of everybody. But then if we resumed our path to the upside after that, it would be a classic shakeout, a shakeout for the ages in the fabled golden bull run. Again, I'll be looking to hold altcoins and see them run up to infinity here throughout the second half of Q1. I think that that would be the recipe if Bitcoin does this, and we can hopefully see the opportunity to take the first little bit of gains off the table in 2025. I think that that would be the moment that you'd want to target. Of course, my belief is that we see a bigger, better top later in the cycle, but my exit plan is very clear. I'm going to start taking little bits of gains out at these massive opportunistic moments, not because I don't believe in the future, but because that's my plan and I'm sticking to it, and I'm going to be methodical, not emotional, and not greedy. And here you go, another chart from Raul Pal. You have the banana zone, which shows that we are right here on the brink of massive explosive upside, which happened at the end of 2020, the end of 2016, the end of 2012. And here we are, the end of 2024, and almost like a poem, it is happening once again. Meanwhile, we have bullish catalyst after bullish catalyst coming from the Trump administration with Paul Atkins, who apparently is the king of dealing with semi-regulated, semi-gray zone industries. And people generally think that this guy would be one of the most bullish possible choices for the new SEC commissioner to replace Gary Gensler. This is extremely exciting. Now, because there's a lot of new people joining the channel, I've seen literally thousands and thousands of people joining each and every video. I welcome you. Thank you for joining. However, I'm a third cycle crypto veteran and my second cycle all the way through as a YouTuber. I know now that this is the time where a lot of people need the most handholding, the most new basic 101 instruction, the type of stuff we haven't really had to talk about for the last 4 years. Well, it's coming back now. I obviously encourage you, please watch my complete beginner's guide. That is absolute must watch, must see content if you want to navigate this bull run like a pro. Please watch the I'm selling everything video. Please watch the exit strategy video. Please watch the 96% will lose video. These are really foundational content that you have to see so you don't make the same mistakes that I've made and pretty much everyone has made, because if it's your first cycle in crypto, chances are you're going to lose more money than you make. That's just the statistics. Even though you can and hopefully will make a lot of money, the statistics show that most people don't, because their emotions and their inexperience drive the car instead of following sage advice. So please don't be a statistic. Follow that advice, because if the bear market comes and you didn't take profits, manage risk, and follow general principles, you're going to be hurting. You're going to be in a world of pain, and I'm not going to be there to save you. No one's going to be there to save you. So save yourself. Please watch the videos, make a plan, and stick to it. A really, really famous investor, Chris Berniski in crypto, has made this thread. It's got some gems in here. I'm just going to pull them out really quickly. Every action you take is your responsibility. Make sure to take responsibility. You don't blame the YouTubers. You don't blame your friends. You don't blame the group chat. You don't blame anyone but yourself. You're in the wild, wild west, the deep end of the pool. You need to be standing on your own 2 feet. You need to be paddling for yourself, or else you're going to get eaten alive here. And no one is going to be able to reverse that damage. So take responsibility. When you buy a coin, when you sell a coin, you are doing it, no one else. No refund policy. Trust me, this is not Amazon. You want to do your research ahead of time and prepare. Next, understand you are not here at the beginning of the cycle. This is the middle to end game. We've been buying coins for almost 2 years now, expecting for this part of the cycle where a lot of us will be looking to sell into this new coming liquidity, to take coins off the table. That's what I'll be doing throughout 2025. Even though I believe the coins will continue to go up for the rest of 2025, I will be making methodical sells because that's the smart way to do it. So understand Bitcoin's up over 6x, ETH up over 4x, SOL up over 30x. So if you're coming in expecting for 10x, 20x, 30x, you need to multiply those numbers by this to understand what you are actually asking for and understand where in the game, where in this process you actually are. Essentially, the later we are in the attention cycle, the worse the entry. So I know because people are pouring into my YouTube. So I know typically that happens in, let's just say, the 6th or 7th inning of the bull run, meaning we have some fun left to have. The game still has some innings left, but you have to be understanding that there is an end to the game that's coming in not too long. You don't want to be here pretending it's going to go on forever when we have no evidence that that'll happen. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe the bull market just continues forever. But until we see that prove out, you should be assuming that another bear market is coming. Keep most of your portfolio in Bitcoin, ETH, and SOL. That's the high conviction bucket. I add Coinbase and MicroStrategy to that. That's how I do it. Just keep it simple. Keep high conviction plays as dominant in your portfolio. Again, I largely agree with this. I see that Q4 top is the most likely. And again, we could see a larger cycle, but this echoes what I was saying. We will probably consolidate after the Q1 hype of the inauguration, and we will see a mini alt season there, but probably the big fireworks come at the end of the year. Anything that goes up 100x or goes up massively will have an 80 to 90% crash. This is absolute gospel for meme coin traders out there. If you see anything go up like astronomically, generational wealth overnight, don't buy it, wait for it to completely crash, and then consider whether you're still as excited about it, because these 80 to 90 crashes, they will happen, they do happen, they're guaranteed as part of the outcome. And if you learn how to trade around them, they are a feature, not a bug, because it gives new opportunities. What's actually funny is I called SOL to $800 after the $8 bottom. That was back in June of 2023. If this plays out, I will be here to collect my clout. But understand that if that happens, that'll be 100x, and that'll mean that it should bottom here around, what is this, $80 to $160, 80 to 90% crash. So if you strictly buy and hold here at 240, next bear market, you will be down. You will not guaranteed to be making money. Like SOL is up so much that it's unlikely it holds above these levels in the bear. Just understand that dynamic. So at some point, if you're holding Solana, you want to sell it during the bull run, or else you will be angry. I believe you will be angry about having held it. That's the danger about getting into this in the mid game versus the early game in the deep bear when no one cared about old EllioTrades over here. Shout out to the hardcores and the people who stuck through it during the bear. Next time, I highly encourage you to do that next bear market, because that's when the real low risk opportunities are. It takes a long time to reap the rewards. It'll drive you a little bit nuts, but that's when you make the real easy gains. Now it's more of a game of hot potato. You just have to understand you don't get the best setup when you come late to the party. You don't get to pick your seat if you're late to dinner. That's what's going on. We've already served the appetizers. We haven't gotten to the main course yet, but you don't just get to pull up at this stage at the head of the table and play Big Papa. And finally, no one is getting rich or crazy multiples from these prices on the big major coins. You might get lucky on a meme coin. I believe that mid caps and low caps still have 10, 20x on average, maybe the good ones like 50x. But if you're expecting to get really rich this cycle coming in now, I mean, that'll be 1 in every million or 2 million people. Some healthy expectations are a few X's on your portfolio. That would be a massive win. Coming in December of 2024, expecting anything more than a 5 or a 10x at most is going to be, in my opinion, unrealistic. But you could very easily hit a 10 or 20x if you find the right mid caps, but you don't want to have your whole portfolio in those mid caps. You want to have those sectioned out. So even if you get a 20x, a 50x in some mid caps, your main high conviction bucket of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana will maybe 2 to 4x on average at max. And I think that's a very healthy expectation for where your portfolio could be. And then maybe you get some runners that bring up the average to 5, 6x, because those runners will be a small percent of your portfolio. All right, enough old man Elio. I just thought this was a really good thread going over some incredible tips. As people are new here, you just got to take it slow. That's what I've learned. You got to take it slow. You got to do some hand holding so that people can really crush it. Also, we've seen privacy win here. This is a massive news article that the Fifth Circuit Court has actually thrown out the sanctions against Tornado Cash. This was a privacy protocol. They were throwing the book at these people, trying to treat them like criminals just because they published some decentralized technology. They published a smart contract application, a crypto product, and it's really showing that crypto is very legally defensible here in the US. This combined with the SEC news shows that crypto developers should feel very safe building stuff here in the United States. And I'm very proud that that's happening, because this is the step to accelerating crypto to being dominant on the global stage. These are huge pieces of news. Also, just wanted to shout out Grok. I've been using Grok to do crypto research. You can just type in a crypto coin and ask, hey, what does this coin do? Or what is this crypto about? And it'll search Twitter, and usually Twitter has some really good information. So I've been using Grok to get those high level summaries of projects so that I don't have to do a lot of digging. I don't have to go through white papers or websites. I can just get a high level summary that I can really get a sense of what projects are and how to put them in narratives, how to understand their differences in my mind. Really phenomenal time saving tool. So definitely don't be afraid to use Grok, the Twitter AI. Now let's take a look at the coins, right? Algorand up 32% on the day, XRP up 17% on the day. I mean, these are massive gains. If you're talking about 17% on $100 billion asset, you're talking about literally tens of billions of dollars on XRP just on the day. And that's why you're seeing this Bitcoin dominance chart not budge, because you're having these altcoins adding insane amounts of capital each and every day. Some meme coinage and Peanut, but then you have Theta, Stellar, Immutable, Hedera, Multiverse. These are massive protocols, right? So over the last few months, meme coins have been dominating, but now you're seeing the real big tech alts start to shine. A lot of people keep asking me, is XRP going to be this massive star? I do think it's possible that XRP runs up and makes a new high this cycle. Its ultimate high was around $3.84, just call it $4 last cycle. I think it could break $4 throughout this cycle, but you have to understand that's asking for this to go, over 500 billion, I believe is the math, to go over $500 billion in fully diluted valuation, or 400 billion over $4. That's crazy. That's just an insane amount of growth. And that would make it worth half of Apple. Again, I don't think it's impossible, but I think what you're seeing here is a sort of regulatory rebound, because it had just been held back so much by the current SEC. It had been such a target that seeing it kind of get one of these recovery pumps is good, but I could see it really struggling to get much further than $6 this entire run. That's sort of my upper end for XRP. Again, it could surprise to the upside. We could get this massive wave. It could be deemed the future once again. But really fundamentally, the whole point about Ripple and XRP is that it's a money transmission standard. And so there's this new sort of group of tokens called the ISO 20022. And this is the bank compliance standard. So the thought is that XRP might be a compliant standard to transfer money for banks. But really, it's not the only coin that fits this. There's XRP, XLM, XDC, Algo, Myota, HBAR, Quant, and ADA. And a lot of these coins have actually been pumping really hard on this recent sort of normie wave of attention. And so the question is, are any of these going to be deemed king of this interbank transfer? My answer is these are all probably going to do well during the bull run for a major type altcoin return, something in the realm of 3x, maybe on the super high end 10x. And I'm not expecting 10x out of most of these. The truth is that I see stablecoins as the true breakthrough value transmission from blockchain. We see stablecoins as the true breakthrough app of cryptocurrency in general. And none of these are stablecoins. So I really struggle to see any of them actually own that, when in reality, I see banks actually making layer 2s on Ethereum or just using Solana, using some of the main blockchains that we already know and love. And so I do think that this is a little bit of a rebound that is based on 4 years of undeserved regulatory scrutiny. So shout out to the XRP army, you deserve this. But I'm not fully bullish yet on XRP as being one of the main stars of this bull run. I might be wrong here. Again, I'm just a guy with the webcam, but I do believe that the real pumps are coming to AI, gaming, and memes. That's the mega pumps. And then other than that, my major assets that I'm holding are Solana, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. And of course, I've made a list on the recent video of AVAX, NEAR, and Phantom, which are other L1s that I like, that I think have unique value props, that I think have great valuations, exciting in the market. And to me, they do a lot more than these sort of more established, but older, more dinosauric alts. Again, I'm not hating on any of this list. I'm just saying that's my view on the market. I'm happy to be proven wrong. If any of you are diehards for these coins, just know I'm rooting for you to make a ton of money, because if any of these go up insanely, I'm expecting for my bags to go up more than that. That's just my belief. Next, I wanted to take a look here. This is the total market cap and volume for AI coins. You can actually find this just by popping into, coin market cap. You can go over here to the AI tab, and then you can see here they have top performing coins. You can see, them compared on this sort of graph overlaid. You can see here if you overlay them, AOS has been one of the top performers here. But really what you want to see here is this market cap and volume. And if you look at the all time, you can see that AI and big data coins have really just broken out market cap wise from this consolidation over the last few months, really. But this is a beautiful chart. I mean, this is blue skies on AI and big data. We know that AI is the fascination of our current era. AI is the biggest breakthrough in business. Looking at Nvidia, it's the darling of the mainstream stock market. AI is going to be a massive deal in crypto. So I expect this to be a trend that really plays out this cycle. Remember, my 3 buckets: AI, gaming, memes. And right now it's hard to say anything, but this is a massive breakout for AI. So I'm expecting for AI to really start pushing to new highs here. Now within AI, I've been covering a coin called Neural AI since the beginning here. I have a massive position in Neural. And the thing about Neural AI is it has really good tech. It's got an interesting value prop. I liked it because it's this fusion of AI and gaming, in that you're able to generate 3D objects for games within the Neural AI tech stack. And to do it automatically and quickly, it's a huge time saver. I run a game studio. I can tell you it's a nightmare to make 3D assets. It's a long process, very expensive, but the time expense is worse. So this is a cool product because they use AI to generate in-game assets. They just launched a new service for AI agents. Very cool tech. Don't get me wrong. The tech is cool. However, what's really interesting is that they did a fair launch. As you can see here, the market cap is equal to the FDV. This means that all the tokens are in market and there's no VCs unlocking and selling. And as you can see, that's allowed for their chart to kind of continually grind up and to the right without big sell pressure, without huge inflation. This is the kind of chart that you really want to see. And I'm a big fan of what I'm calling fair launch tokens. And I'm looking for fair launch tokens in AI and gaming now going forward, or at least tokens with no more investor unlocks. For example, Superverse has no more investor unlocks. That has happened last cycle. And there will be an announcement on how some of the tokens are going to be given out to community in the upcoming days and weeks. Look for that on the Twitter. Go follow the Superverse Twitter. But there are other projects that are starting with no investor unlocks. And that's a really interesting way to start, because it'll create, hopefully, the goal is to create a very low price at the beginning and allow for the people who are excited about it to buy at a very low price and to run up the project with that low price remaining the low. Whereas what we've seen is that the VC-backed projects throughout this cycle have been launching with very few tokens in market, maybe 10% or 15% of the total supply. And then they launch on a big major exchange, they trade at a super high value, and then as tokens come into the market, the price just disintegrates because investors are up so much on their investment that they dump whatever comes into the market, and you end up with this massive drag down on price. You don't want that. You want the investors who aren't here for the long term to dump right at the start, and you want the sort of bloodbath to happen at the beginning. And in that blood, you can get a low price where community can get the best price, hopefully even lower than the early investors got, if there are early investors. So I like Neural for a lot of reasons, but the thing I like about it is it's proving out this fair launch AI strategy. And I'm going to be looking for other coins that fit this strategy. Again, one we talked about yesterday in the gaming sector is Super Champs. And as you can see, again, This is a very early one. So as you can see with Neural, there was a big run up here to, almost $4. And then it came all the way back down to, $1 or so before popping back up. Again, Super Champs actually unlocked all their tokens, all their investors at the beginning. And you saw some crazy dumps here that got bought up here, but you're seeing some really chunky action here. This is the blood that hopefully a community can get involved in early. So Super Champs right now is breaking onwards and upwards. Hopefully it keeps going. But even if it doesn't, right, and it comes back down and revisits some lows here, that's just investors getting out early. And that's before the main part of the run happens. So this is a very interesting experiment. I'm an investor and advisor to Super Champs. They're partnered with Superverse. So I'm really rooting for them here. And I'm very happy that the founder went this route. So hopefully this leads to it just going onwards and upwards. But even if it doesn't, that could be an opportunity here, because I think fair launch AI and gaming tokens are going to be a real unlock and a cheat code this cycle. And while AI has broken out to new highs on market cap, gaming is still lagging here. As you can see, the first high was set here in 2021. We all remember Metaverse Mania, but the recent high was set here at about 40 billion earlier in March of this year. You can see it hasn't quite caught up yet there. So as you can see, gaming is looking to break back above here and start to mimic this chart, hopefully that you're seeing in AI, which is trading ahead of it as it's the more speculative asset this cycle. But I do believe the thing that people are underestimating about gaming, and the reason why I'm bullish gaming, is because the big piece missing from crypto gaming was high quality games. Now there's been 4 years of development and games are simply much better. So the chance of having immersive gameplay mixed with cool crypto tokenomics is real this time. And that's why I'm very optimistic that over the course of this cycle, we'll see some real examples of crypto gaming mass adoption at the product level with also sick tokenomics. That's why gaming season will be a little harder to time, but I believe it will be coming at some point this cycle. Now, I did want to talk about this. I've been saying I won't talk about individual memes in the AI sector, but there's this AI agent craze that I'm going to be very honest with you, I'm totally fascinated. You can actually create your own AI agents on this app called Virtuals. This is a crazy new app where essentially you can deploy your own agent with its own token contract here on the blockchain. It is absolutely crazy the way this works. And there are agents, and again, I'm not telling you to buy this. This is not what I'm saying. I'm just showing you some of the things that have been output by this virtual software. You can see this is a virtual agent, an AI agent that just constantly spits out research on the market. They're talking about Brett having however many new wallets. They're talking about Desync, bridging AI tooling on-chain with no-code dApp. You see they're literally just shooting out research, and they also reply. So if you want to talk to them, they can, if people tweet at them, they'll say, hey, here's my question. And then this bot will actually reply, hey, AIXBT, how possible you see WIF reaching 44 billion market cap? WIF could do a 44 billion, but would require every holder to diamond hand through multiple X's, unlikely in meme season. So you can see he's going to take my job soon. He's taking the KOL responsibility. Again, I'm happy to pass off the crown here. This is exciting stuff. Maybe I'll just start needing to program an AI to replace myself. Maybe I am just an AI and have been for a while. The point is there's really exciting stuff here. And this AIXBT agent is trading at hundreds of millions of dollars. It's meme coin. So you have these meme coins fusing with real AI tech where Virtuals is like an underlying tech stack, and these meme coins are being deployed on top of it. So you have this sort of attention mimetic thing on top of real AI tech, right? These are AI tech companies. It's quite interesting to see, and they're learning in real time. They're growing, they're evolving. It's a very interesting phenomenon. Again, I do not own any Virtuals. It's way too expensive for me right now. I'm trying to see it crash down a bit. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. These are the types of things that I find very interesting. These fair launch, meme coin style tokenomics with interesting tech and AI and gaming. Those are where I see massive upsides, as well as having a balanced portfolio with some layer ones, your high conviction bets, your Coinbase stocks, etc. That's where I see some real magic happening. Where I want to focus my attention is on the low and mid cap AI gaming stuff that has tokenomics without major investor unlocks. The investor unlocks are what kill you and what kill the price. So those are bad. If you have any that you want to have on my radar, make sure to tag me on Twitter, mention them to me, and I'll try to include them in my research if I think they meet the criteria. So that's it. Maybe we're here. Maybe we're seeing the beginning of Bitcoin dominance finally falling. Maybe we're seeing the altcoin tooth fairy emerge with a little pot of gold under your pillow. Maybe, just maybe, your high school crush is just desperate for you to text her. Maybe. The point is that if this is happening, we are a few months ahead of schedule on prior bull runs. That would mean that what was happening in sort of mid-January might be happening in mid-December or early December. And so we could see maybe what was a November top on the last cycle move back into an October top or something like that. Again, predicting the whole next year is not the point of this. My point is that this could be the last opportunity you get before things start going truly vertical. Because once altcoin season starts popping off, coins will start running 5x, 10x, 20x, and you don't want to be chasing those pumps. You'll definitely get yourself in a world of hurt trying to chase massive, explosive, girthy green crypto pumps in crypto. That's where you get emotional, you FOMO in, and you're pretty much just donating money to the early holders, which is what I've been trying to make videos about here for the last 2 years, is that when you get in at the bottom, when things are boring, you can be casually collecting donations from the market as things erupt upwards. Again, I'll be doing a ton of deep dives on AI, gaming, layer 1 tech, even DeFi and real world assets, you name it. If you're excited for that, make sure to subscribe for more videos and check out this video popping up where I go over some of my recent changes to my portfolio in light of what's going on in alt season. Make sure to smash that like button if you had fun here, and I'll see you soon on the next episode.